start this hour in Turkey and some historic results for the opposition in local elections there. The party of President Erdogan has suffered its largest ever defeat in municipal elections. Correspondents say voters appear to be punishing his AK party for the spiralling cost of living. The main opposition, CHP, achieved its largest victory in 45 years. It secured wins in 6 of Turkey's 8 largest urban centres, including the country's biggest city, Istanbul. And for the first time in 25 years, they won more municipalities than the ruling AK party. President Erdogan described his party's worst ever defeat as not an end, but a turning point.
We will not disrespect our nation's decision in any way.
Man, he looks like shit, huh? Is it just me, or does he look much more like shit recently? Like,
we will avoid being stubborn, acting against the national will, and questioning the judgment of our nation, as we have done so far. We will take the necessary steps by analysing the messages.
He's also old as shit. He's 70. He's like a decade younger than Biden.
Given by the nation at the ballot box, most accurately and objectively within the reason and in our inner conscience.
Opposition supporters say although these are local elections, victories in big cities are a significant show of force against President Erdogan's ruling party. This was the scene in Istanbul, where thousands took to the streets to celebrate the opposition party's win. The city's incumbent mayor, Ekrem İmamoğlu, declared victory after securing over 50% of the vote, well ahead of his nearest rival. He became Istanbul's first opposition mayor in 2019. He's now seen as the best-placed opposition candidate ahead of Turkey's next presidential vote.
He's going to get arrested. This guy's on ice, okay? It's over for him. He's going to be accused of corruption and yoinked. How honest are Turkish elections? I think that the main issue with Turkey's elections aren't the literal vote counting. It's that Erdogan will politically bully and influence the elections beforehand. Like, the actual vote counting, I believe, is relatively above board. It's that he uses his power to, like, break the election beforehand, basically. In Kurdish areas, they're literally just rigged. Okay, yeah, well, maybe for the Kurds.
In 2028, he told supporters the result signalled a very important message to the world.
In this world, unfortunately, democracies were weakening. While these democracies were weakening,
A lot of Turkish people permanently living in Germany vote for Erdogan. Yeah, diasporas are almost always Hitler. It's like that with Cuba. It's like that with, like, there's a bunch of, like, Iranian expats who, like, worship the Shah over in America. Yeah, the diasporas are always Hitler. That's why when you go online, you see a bunch of people who are like, you know, glory to Turkey, Erdogan, kill all you degenerates, and then wolf posting, and then it's like, they live in London, you know? There are so many people like that. Seriously, you're on Twitter and you see, yeah, anytime you see some, like, crazy right-wing, they could be like an Islamist, they could be like a like Hungary or Russia or whatever. London, UK. What is it with London, dude? What is it about London that attracts so much crazy diaspora nonsense, okay? If you like those countries so much, go and live in them. If you like Serbia so much, go and live there. Oh, you don't want to because it's a shithole? Too bad, go.
Authoritarian regimes came to power. Many articles around the world asked if we were coming at the end of democratic regimes. 31st of March 2024 is the day when democratic erosion in Turkey ended and democracy is rising again.
Well, Anna Erim from the BBC's Turkish service says this is an unprecedented win for the opposition.
People were expecting opposition to win in the largest cities of Turkey, but actually getting more votes than the government party in general in Turkey, and winning in some cities which they haven't won in.
Okay. Nothing against this guy's appearance or anything, but he's scary. He's scaring me. Your eyes are so open. You look so unkempt. Are you going to eat me? You look, yeah.
In last 40, 50 years is a very big success for the main opposition party, CHP.
Cihan Tugul is Professor of Sociology at the University of California, Berkeley. He gave us his assessment of Turkish politics following on from these election results.
Voting was...
Oh, I thought they were saying the other guy. Okay, yeah.
Mired with irregularities in Kurdish cities. And despite that, the Kurds took back most of their municipalities from the appointees that had been imposed by Erdogan undemocratically.
Jesus Christ. I guess this fits, right? Yeah, anyone in the Middle East or the Arab North Africa, anything in that ballpark, you know, because they know, you know, it's like, you know, how Hitler are you, and what kind of Hitler are you relative to the kind of Hitler that Erdogan is? And the reason France is different, of course, is because they have so many like of the Islamist Hitler varieties. But in this case, their Hitlerism is countering the Hitlerism of Erdogan. Whatever. Good Lord. Good Lord.
Erdogan might try to do this again, actually. So the game is not over there. The scuffles will continue. And
Sweden? Okay, think of it this way. A lot of the people in those countries have been... Never mind, it's too complicated.
The other dimension is the growth of the far right. So this has not stopped. So that Erdogan has lost doesn't mean his vision.
In 2015, when the now banned Kurdish HDP party won in every Kurdish area, all their mayors were just arrested and replaced with Erdogan party mayors. It's insane how bad it is there. Are you ready for this sweeping Kurdish victory to incite Rojava to start pushing back on the northern front of Syria? It's time. Rojava, the conquest lays before you. You will march north, and you will liberate your Kurdish brothers and sisters. It's time. Total Kurdish victory. Let's go. Gotta turn southern Turkey into northern Rojava.
Has lost. So 4% of his votes have gone to a far-right Islamist party, which had been criticizing Erdogan because of his free market policies, his socially unjust policies that target poor people and small shopkeepers and small tradespeople, and also his dealings with Israel. Turkey has serious trade with Israel, and Islamists are pretty unhappy about this. So actually all of that is good.
To be honest with you, I don't even understand why Erdogan supporters like Erdogan. Like, let me clarify. I understand why Erdogan supporters would like him more than other people on offer, but I don't know what Erdogan supporters would like Erdogan for, like, on his own, like, liking him, you know? Because it seems like he f***ed up in so many of the ways. Like, I know the weird nationalist bit, but he doesn't even really do a good job with that. I don't know. He's not particularly charismatic. He's not much of a strong man. The economy is wretched under him. He has, like, a tenuous, like, you know, handful of alliances that kind of contradict each other. He's tall? Must be that.
Well, I mean, all of those could be really bases for a strong democratic opposition. But the catch in all of this is that this party I'm talking about, this far-right Islamist party, is also very anti-woman and anti-LGBT. So it's taking these democratic demands and it's marrying them to an undemocratic agenda. And even the bigger risk is this party was already in a coalition with the governing party, AK Party, with Erdogan's party, and they broke off because of Israel and Erdogan's free market policies. But if Erdogan makes some concessions, this party might, recombine its forces.
You really don't want Islamic rule in Turkey? I disagree, okay? It's time to reestablish the Ottoman Empire. It's time. Turkey is bloated and weak. We need to return to our roots, okay? No, you mean the Byzantine Empire? We could go farther back. Actually, Islamists tend not to like the Ottoman Empire. Well, yeah, the Ottoman Empire wasn't as Hitlerite as many, like, Islamists are today. The grand unified scale of Hitlerism as, like, the only determiner politically of what you believe in. No empire can ever be as radical as its adherents want it to be, because empires have to consolidate the cultures and people that they conquer. Every empire has ended up that way. The Ottomans, the Persians, Rome, every single time. You know, you have a core of, like, ideologically and culturally pure people. But if you want to maintain any kind of empire, you have to expand outwards, and that means incorporating and assimilating other cultures. That's what makes it an empire. So an empire could never be like a real caliphate, not the one the Islamists want, because the Islamists want a caliphate that unites like a completely like monolithic, hegemonic, unitary Islamic faith, and that's just never going to happen. That's what ISIS kind of tries to do, and everyone hates them. Yeah, Wahhabism started as an attempted revolt against the Ottomans for not being fundamentalist enough. Yeah, those guys are crazy. Christians tried that and got pretty far. Not really. There are so many different kinds of Catholicism even, apart from the fact that there are 50 trillion branches of Protestantism, and then there's the Orthodox and Catholic split, but there are always like different flavors of Catholicism anyway. And for the longest time, there was never really meaningfully, like Christendom was never really a unitary force, right? Even before the Protestant split, like Christendom meant like a vague collection of territories, and like whether or not the leaders were on good terms with the Pope, the Holy See or whatever, they might lend to an army or listen to a decree, but it was never consistent. They would fight all the time. It just doesn't work.